I will call this meeting to order. Here.
David Rose,
Here.
Lisa Ramon,
Here.
Evelyn Tinsley,
Here.
Kathy Houston.
Here.
Please join me in a moment of silent prayer or private reflection. Amen. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. At this time, we'll have the swearing in of the new governing board members. Mr. Murray.
At this time, we'd like to welcome Judge Kalali with us this evening. He's here to swear in the new governing board members, as President Harvey just mentioned.
Thank you. Okay. Usually I'm speaking to a more captive audience. Mr. Rose, please, if you could come forward. And I guess if you want to stand right here, that would be great. Please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, David Rose, do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution and laws of the state of Arizona, that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same and defend them against all enemies, foreign and domestic, and that I will faithfully and impartially discharge the duties of the office of LHUSD Governing Board Member according to the best of my ability. So help me God. Congratulations. Ms. Tinsley, if you could come forward, please.
Sam, you with me on this, Sam? Yep.
Please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, Evelyn Tinsley,
I, Evelyn Tinsley,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support
that I will support
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution and laws
and the Constitution and laws
of the state of Arizona,
of the state of Arizona,
that I will bear
that I will bear
true faith and allegiance
true faith and allegiance
to the same
to the same
and defend them
and defend them
against all enemies,
against all enemies,
foreign and domestic,
foreign and domestic,
and that I will
and that I will
faithfully and impartially
faithfully and impartially
discharge the duties
discharge the duties
of the office
of the office
of LHUSD Governing Board Member,
of the LHUSD
Governing Board Member, according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
And Mr. Houston, sir.
Thank you.
Please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, Matthew Houston,
I, Matthew Houston,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support
that I will support
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution and laws
and the constitutional laws
of the state of Arizona,
of the state of Arizona,
that I will bear
that I will bear
true faith and allegiance
true faith and allegiance
to the same
to the same,
and defend them
and defend them
against all enemies,
against all enemies,
foreign and domestic,
foreign and domestic,
and that I will
and that I will
faithfully and impartially
faithfully and impartially
discharge the duties
discharge the duties
of the office
of the office
of LHUSD Governing Board Member
of LHUSD Governing Board Member
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
Moving on to 1.6, Governing Board, election of Governing Board President and Vice President for 2025. And I would like to start off by nominating Lisa Ramon for Board President. Lisa has already served as Board President in the past and is the most experienced candidate for this position. She's one of the most active in the life of our schools. She's already demonstrated her commitment to student success and is supportive of our teachers, staff, and administration. She's an excellent example for presidential duties and district leadership. So I would like to make a motion for Lisa Ramon as president. Is there a second?
Thank you for your kind words, but if there's no second, I'd rather move on to another nomination. Is there a second?
At this time, I'd like to nominate Dave Rose. He is a pastor in town. He's in town and actively working with the district already. He's been a great point of contact, so I think he would be a fantastic president to begin.
I will second that.
I would like to add a little discussion before we vote. I was very vocal during campaign season about some of my misgivings and objections. I would like to set those aside. I've already said what I wanted to say, and I don't have a reason to say any of that again. I have had hope over the last few weeks. We've had a training session with our in-house counsel, and it has given me reason to believe that our new board members are here to be part of a team. There was a spirit of collegiality during that meeting, and so I would like to overlook the past and kind of come into this with an open mind and a fresh start for the new year.
And I would just like to echo Lisa's words. You know, it was a heated political season, but that's what politics in America is. We are here to make this district efficient and good for our children. Lisa, you've been on this board and been functioning on this board, so we look forward to any input and all input that you have to help guide us move forward in that direction. Thank you.
It was a heated campaign, and I'm glad it's over. But as Lisa said, we've had some great meetings, and we are all here to work together and do what is best for this community, for our teachers, our staff, our students, our parents, and we cannot do that if we're divided. We're better together, and we may not always agree on certain issues, but at the end of the day, everyone sitting on this board wants what is best for this district, and that's what matters. So, thank you.
So do we have a second
Yes.
to,
So then,
Evelyn, second.
yes. So then Leanne will
for
call for the
for
vote.
David Rose,
Yes.
Yes.
I did.
for president?
Yes.
Okay, so we're ready for, at this time, we'll take nominations for vice
No,
president.
I'm sorry, first we're going to vote.
Oh, that's what I thought, okay.
You-
President.
Yes.
Yeah, we need to,
Yes, call the vote.
Okay, so president is now David Rose.
No,
We have to vote.
David Rose received a nomination and a second, so now you will just do the roll call vote.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Sharon Harvey,
yes.
David Rose,
Yes.
Lisa Rowan,
Yes.
Matt Houston,
Yes.
Evelyn Tinsley.
Yes.
Now we will declare elected President
Thank you.
Reverend
I'm
Rose.
honored, thank you.
Okay, at this time, we will take nomination for Vice President.
I nominate Matthew Houston. And the reason for that, Matthew is a leader in this community, a leader in our county. He has young children and has a great vision for this district. And so it's been great to be on the campaign trail with him and just hear his heart for Lake Havasu City and our school system. And I think he would be a great leader for this district.
I will second that.
Sharon Harvey,
Yes.
David Rose,
Yes.
Lisa Rowan,
Yes.
Matt Houston,
Yes.
Evelyn Tinsley.
Yes.
Now we switch.
Okay, so we'll now have our Vice President and President move to their new seats.
I'm good. Oh, do I come here? I'll stay here. Right, or I come there? Oh, okay. Sorry. Oh, there we go.
Thank you.
Here's some water.
All right.
Oops. All right, moving on. Oh, are we ready? Nope, not yet.
Couple seconds.
And I've got some documents. All right, moving on to item number 1.7, Superintendent, Hearing Officers for 2025 Student Discipline Hearings.
Thank you, Mr. President, board members, filling in for Dr. Stone tonight. Per Board Policy 5-306 and Procedure 5-306A, the board can appoint a hearing officer to oversee discipline suspension and expulsion hearings. Per the job description for hearing officer approved December 12, 2006, a hearing officer will be approved by the governing board at the first meeting in January of each year. The following hearing officers will serve for 2025 and funded through Medicaid as needed: the Director of Student Services, the Director of Student Achievement, Director of Human Resources, Director of Business Services.
And we would like to take a moment and say thank you to Becky Goberg, who has been serving as our hearing officer for the past 12 years. And we owe her a huge round of applause. She has served this. Becky has served this community with excellence, and we are now going to be searching for a replacement to hopefully want to serve our community as long as she has. So Becky, thank you for your service. Moving on to item 2.1. Item 2.1, Student Achievement, new and... Oh, I'm sorry, we have to take a vote.
So a motion in a second. You need a motion.
You
in
need a
second.
motion. We need a motion and a second? Yes. I'm
I
sorry.
motion to approve 1.7.
I'll second.
Any discussion?
Any discussion?
Go right to vote.
All right, move to vote.
I've got David Rose,
Yes.
Matt Houston,
Yes.
Lisa Rowan,
Yes.
Sharon Harvey,
Yes.
Evelyn Tinsley.
Yes.
All right, item 2.1, Student Achievement, new and maintain national board certified teachers with Dr. Jamie Festadegel.
Mr. President and Governing Board, Please join me in celebrating the following teachers who earn national board certification and are LHUSD newest NBCTs. Just like we look for board certified surgeons, lawyers, doctors, board certified teachers have proven success. These teachers join the 27 other NBCTs in this district who have demonstrated standards-based evidence of student learning in alignment with the 5 core propositions. They have exhibited a deep understanding of their students, content knowledge, use of data and assessments, and teaching practice. They also showed that they participate in learning communities and provide evidence of ongoing reflection and continuous learning. So we're going to call these teachers up who will also receive a pin and then checks from the K-12 Foundation, who will say a few words after. So please join me in celebrating Anna Giacone. Sorry. Anna is a teacher from Starline. She teaches reading language arts. She's certified in reading language arts in early and middle childhood.
Way to go, Anna!
Please join me in celebrating April Cooley. April is a teacher at Oro Grande Classical Academy. She's certified in reading language arts, early and middle childhood. Please join me in welcoming Sarah Shaw as our newest NBCT. Sarah Shaw is a reading interventionist at Smoke Tree. She's certified in reading language arts, early and middle childhood. Next, please join me in celebrating Andrea Montez. Andrea is a special education teacher at Jamaica. She's certified in exceptional needs specialist, early childhood through young adulthood. National board certification must be renewed every 5 years by submitting videotaped and written evidence of accomplished teaching practice. Please also congratulate the following teachers who maintained their certificate this year. From Lake Havasu High School, Kathy Bagby. From Nautilus Elementary School, Kelsey Dill. From Lake Havasu High School, Chessa Fry. Also from Lake Havasu High School, Bridget Hagest. From Starline Elementary School, Teresa Nigg. And finally, from Oro Grande Classical Academy, Tara Smith. Please congratulate these teachers who joined the 4% of teachers in the United States who are board certified teachers. If you are a national board certified teacher, will you stand up? congratulations to all of our NBCTs and those who are working on certification. Don't go away yet. We would like to welcome the Lake Havasu Unified School District K-12 Foundation to say a few words to our National Board teachers and talk about what the K-12 Foundation is. Is there anybody in the audience left that's a K-12 member? Me and Jamie. The rest of us are up here. They have been supporting National Board certification and LHUSD for 2 decades.
The K-12 Foundation was founded in 2003 by local business leaders interested in supporting the students and staff of Lake Havasu Unified School District. Our volunteer board is made up of civic and business leaders from sectors across the community. We are a nonprofit foundation committed to preserving programs and resources that are essential building blocks to our kids' education and future. Over the past 20 years, the K-12 Foundation has raised close to $1 million. This money has been used to support initiatives across the district, including recognizing excellent teachers through the Sherry Daly Golden Apple Award, supporting peer tutoring at the high school, funding STEM clubs and activities, putting on the academic recognition dinner each year for top high school students, providing funds for principals to use at their discretion at each school, supporting new teachers during pre-service week, and this evening, providing funding for teachers who are interested in becoming and maintaining National Board certification. The K-12 Foundation has provided support for National Board certified teachers since 2006 because we know that excellent teachers are a vital part of our schools. Thank you for your hard work and dedication. We appreciate you.
Good job.
Photo op.
Thank you, K-12 Foundation. We love you.
I think we're going to have like.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it, Helen. This is perfect.
If we do the half day on Friday, it's not meetings. It's a time for teachers to work or to help students or do their own self-care. For one
Good job, teachers. Way to go.
All right, congratulations to all of our teachers. Moving on to item 2.2, Lake Havasu City Education Association. Please welcome Carol Nowakowski.
Good evening, President Rose, members of the board, directors, community. Happy New Year and welcome to our new board members. Every 2 years, we utilize the opportunity to provide our new board members with a little insight of what LHCA historical role is in LHUSD. So we pride ourselves in maintaining a collaborative relationship with our LHUSD directors and school governing board. We enthusiastically provide lunch during the new teacher orientation luncheon, where we have an opportunity to welcome each one and thank them for choosing LHUSD. We seek and request funding for LHHS for our high school athletics through different scholarships and award opportunities. We offer opportunities for free professional development in multiple content areas, special education, fine arts, early childhood, as well as the ability to earn a micro-credential in various best practices for our classrooms. We seek and recognize members in our communities who are public educator advocates. We partner with community members for equipment and funding for LHUSD. We follow Arizona legislative session as bills are presented and discussed in committee and on the floor. Then we communicate with our LD30 legislators regarding legislative impact on LHUSD. We are leaders. We are advocates. We advocate for all staff. And most importantly, we advocate for all students. And we look forward to working with each one of you in our continued efforts to provide funding, policy, and opportunities for LHUSD's students, staff, and community. Thank you.
Thank you. At this time, we're going to open it up to the call to the public. We have one call to the public this evening. Please welcome Karen Vanderjack.
Right. Okay, first of all, I'm Karen Vanderjack. I am part of PACE, Patriotic Americans for Constitutional Education. I just want to welcome David Rose and Matt Houston and Evelyn Tinsley to the board of the Lake Havasu Unified School District. And many of our citizens in Lake Havasu are excited to see what God will direct you to do to improve your school district, our school district. I'd like to take this opportunity to make some suggestions to help meet the goals of producing strong American citizens who will be our future. As part of PACE, we would like to see patriotism brought back into the curriculum. This is an investment in our students, in our city, our state, and our country. I've given you all a copy of the 28 Principles of Liberty in front of you, upon which our country was founded, these principles. These principles need to be instilled and recited. Our PACE clubs work towards that goal by paying teachers to have an after-school club, but we need to go beyond that. Currently, we only have 4 PACE clubs in only 2 schools right now. Now, we have several schools in the city, but they're not from the Lake Havasu Unified School District. Here are some suggestions of new things you could do to encourage more clubs and have like having assemblies, and invite the Marine Corps League to have a flag folding ceremony. Those are some suggestions. I see. I think I'm on the wrong page here, sorry. Many schools, districts across the country have begun to implement bringing in prayer, and they brought in displaying the 10 Commandments in our classrooms, and even having Bible classes for electives in their high schools. I highly recommend bringing these things in. I know some parents might object, but we are a constitutional republic, and we voted for these new school board members to represent the citizens of our city regarding the education of every child whose parents want to be educated in our district. Those parents can be informed about the Danbury Baptist situation. A lot of people think that there's a thing called separation of yes.
Church and state.
Church and state, right. And is that in our Constitution? No, it's not in there. Oh, by the way, I noticed that we have our 2 representatives from Constitution Week. That would be another thing we really need to implement and recognize our Constitution. We have Constitution Week. Actually, Constitution Day is September 17th. So that's another thing we'd like to see come in. But I wanted to make sure that everybody here understood the separation of church and state is not in the Constitution and why it's not in the Constitution.
15 seconds.
Okay. Well, then I'll have to shorten it up.
Sorry.
You didn't tell me how much time I had, so bear with me just for a second here. It was a.
Go ahead. I'll extend
Thank
you
you.
a minute.
It was an agreement between a church that came to Jefferson, and they said the government's getting involved in our church, and and Jefferson said, well, we don't want that. We want, so we'll just have a wall of separation of church and state. And that, what he meant was he didn't want the government to get involved in the churches, not for the other way around. So I'd like to see us get more involved by some of the suggestions I came up with today.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Item number 4.1, consent agenda vote. I need a motion to approve the consent agenda.
I move to approve the consent agenda.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Call for a vote.
David Rose,
Yes.
Evelyn Tinsley,
Yes.
Lisa Ramon,
Yes.
Matt Houston,
Yes.
Sharon Harvey.
Yes.
All right, item 4.2, superintendent minutes, regular session.
I'm sorry, actually, all of
Oh,
the four
sorry.
ones
Oh,
are
that
under
was part of the
consent
consent,
agenda.
okay.
Move right to action
All right,
items.
sorry, all right. Item number 6, action items, student achievement, the 2025, 2026, and 2026 and 2027 academic calendars. I would like to open this up for discussion. This evening, what I would like to see us do is to discuss some changes I would like to see with the 25 and 26 calendar, and then table the 26, 27 calendar for a work session. Because we need to hear from parents, teachers, and staff when it comes to our calendars. In looking at the calendar, and the items when I received the report, it seems like we're moving school earlier with a start date in July, and I'm not open to that. I think that's way too early. Parents are still doing vacations, so we need to open up at this time for discussion of changes for this calendar. And I'd like you to. Yes, please present. Thank you.
Mr. President and Governing Board, Lake Havasu Unified School District has historically adopted academic calendars 2 years at a time. Administration meets with a calendar committee representing each site to elicit feedback about the academic calendar. The calendar committee met in August and September to review the current adopted calendars. The committee was made up of teachers, classified staff, and administrators. 8 of the committee members are also LHUSD parents. Suggested changes to the calendar were brought back to the school site for approval. Calendar committee members presented the calendars and a survey was sent out to sites. There were 250 responses collected from school site staff. Overwhelmingly, the staff agreed that starting on a Thursday, which is one of the reasons that it backs up, fall break and an April testing break was beneficial for students and teachers. They also agreed that having the Monday off for students in July allowed for teachers to not have to work over winter break. Site principals then held meetings and solicited feedback from parents. All sites shared the calendar during a parent meeting, and parents shared they approved of the academic calendar. And I will point out that the parents were like, July 30th or July 31st. But in order to keep the calendar starting on a Thursday, fall break, they all understood. The current calendar structure works well with quarters and semesters that are even, and an emphasis on ensuring that high school students complete finals over winter break. And so currently our calendar is 45 days, 45 days, 45 days, and 45 days for 180 days. We have classes that are a year long, we have classes that are a quarter long, and classes that are a semester long. It's very difficult when you have a class that one quarter is 55 days and the next quarter is 35 days, or one semester is 110 days and the other semester is 70 days. And so we need to have an equivalent calendar because students take classes that are year, semester, and quarter. In addition, I've heard, and I read Orchids and Onions, I hear that lots of people want to start later. The reality is, in order for students to finish winter testing in high school, we have to start then to back up those 90 days. State testing also begins the last week of March, and this calendar gives the time to ensure all grade level standards are met prior to state testing. The current calendar format is recommended to be carried forward for the next 2 years. It is recommended that school continues to begin for students on a Thursday rather than a Monday. This provides more dedicated time to work with students on rules and procedures and setting the classroom climate prior to starting with content the following week. It also allows for kindergartners to start with a half day and acclimate to school, which has been a past practice and has worked well for our newest students. In addition, this allows LHUSD to effectively support novice teachers as they transition into planning lessons, preparing materials, and grading student work. This calendar continues to have the student workday to start at the beginning of the calendar year after winter break. This supports teachers having time after winter break to prepare for the new semester and work collaboratively to meet the needs of students. Space is also created that gives a day off in April. There are typically no days off between spring break and the end of the year, which is also the time of standardized testing. One day at the end of April would become a break that is for both students and teachers. Students will continue to attend school for 180 days, and teachers will work 188 days. Workday calendars will be created by Human Resources after adoption of the academic calendar. The calendar style meets the accessibility requirements for online posting, and then they were provided for 25-26 and 26-27.
Okay. Thank you, Dr. Festa-Daigle. At this time, I would like to open it up for discussion from the board, but also to the public. This is something that all of us are involved with. There's parents in this room, there's teachers in this room, and one of the things that we stated when we campaigned is we're going to do things together and work together. And so at this time, I'd open up to the board, and then we'll open up from teachers, parents, anyone in the room that would like to get up for 1 minute and just give some feedback as we work on this evening.
I did have so you made some remarks at the beginning. I heard you say that you would like to table 26 and 27.
Yes, ma'am.
But what did you say about 25, 26?
If we could just make some changes this evening and go and get it passed, because I understand there are parents who are trying to get summer vacation scheduled.
Yeah.
And that is super important. We understand that. And so I think if we can get the following school year, upcoming school year's calendar out this evening and passed, and then we can do a work session on the following year, and then get that out as soon as possible.
Okay. And then what changes to the 25, 26 are you proposing?
One thing that we've discussed and thought about is moving the half-day to Friday, with one caveat on that. I've spoke with teachers and parents on this.
Yeah.
Particularly teachers felt moving it to the Friday, they found administration just would fill that afternoon with meetings. So if we move it to that Friday, I would like to make it specific to that the administration is not making meeting times during that time. That is for the teachers to either meet with their students to get coursework done, or for themselves to take that time off. Additionally, I did notice this year we didn't take Columbus Day off, which I would also like to bring back.
Okay. And then, so as it currently is, we have our half days on Thursday, or I shouldn't say half day, it should be early release. It's not really a half day, okay? We have early release on Thursdays, and that is when our staff often has their articulation meetings, either amongst their grade level, or they have vertical articulation meetings. If those aren't going to happen on Friday afternoon, when will they happen?
Administration would move it throughout the week. I mean, there's times to have meetings done. How long do these meetings take? These are things I'd like to hear from the teachers in this time for discussion. We've heard from parents both. They hate the half-day on Thursday because it breaks up their ability to travel. I've heard some teachers like it on Thursdays. There's been a lot of back and forth. So I would open it up to people who are here. Like we said, we have about a minute to give you, and we'd like to hear from you.
Yeah. Ms. Bagby.
Have you collected any data?
Please state your name and your school.
I have students that do that for me. I can talk loud enough.
Go ahead.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Kathy Bailey Bagby, teacher. I just have a question on the, have you collected any data about early release Fridays from any area schools? I know that Parker does it. Parker doesn't have to worry about their daily average attendance because they get impact aid money. So It's not a big deal if their kids don't come to school on Friday. I would be curious to know if any other schools have done it and what it does for financial things for the schools, because that could be really hurtful if we lose a lot of money, because kids, they're not going to come on a Friday if it's a half day.
Well, we would expect, I mean, you expect parents to take their kids to school, and that's kind of, in essence, what we're saying is, then it's, And this is what our pushback
Yeah.
is. If
Yeah.
parents are making the choice to keep their children, that's their choice, and I support that
Yeah.
more than our dollars.
Yeah.
We do 180 days, and we meet the state requirements for hours. So if a parent chooses to take their child, that's their choice, and I support that. So
Right.
that is my consideration, is if a parent is making the value decision that that child with them is more valuable than our dollars, well, this is their district, isn't it?
Yeah, I would just be curious of what the impact has been at
Yeah.
other schools and financially,
Right.
what does it look like?
Actually, Mr.
And that was
Murray
it.
can speak
Thank
to
you.
that. Thank
Can I
you, Ms.
leave?
Beck. Thank you.
Thank you. So the impact financially, years ago, that used to be the case. Years ago, the state had in place what was called average daily attendance. Even though that's still something that is talked about, average daily membership is how districts are funded. So what that means is average daily membership is actually taking into account those who are actually enrolled in school, not whether or not they're here or absent. So if a student is absent, you're not penalized. Now, if they're absent for 10 days and no one knows where they are, and then they come up somewhere that they moved to Phoenix, then we have to unenroll them back to their last date in the school district. We don't just get to keep them on the books until we figure out where they are. So no impact to attendance right now currently. That can change, but currently that does not happen.
So I think maybe potentially what would be a good, and we can do this as a trial this year, this coming year. And if we say, hey, this was a terrible idea, then we can go back or we can reevaluate. That's always an idea. But what if we were to move this first day of school to August 1st and then early release to Friday?
So in order to do that, by the way, I made a contingency. So in order to do that, in order to make that happen, we would take the day away in April. We would take the work day away in January, and so that would roll everything to Monday. The only barrier is Columbus Day, because we would need another day. And I just want to speak to that. There are days that we go to school, 9/11, Constitution Day, which, by the way, Karen Vanderjack, is my favorite holiday. Sandra Day O'Connor Civics Day. We do go to school on days that are a celebration of something.
Yeah.
And so while I understand that Columbus Day is important, I also think it's important to celebrate, understand what that is. It's our first unit in kindergarten. We talk about Indigenous people and Columbus. And so I would respectfully ask to consider, in order to keep the calendar whole, that the expectation is that we do something that supports that holiday versus taking it off.
In doing so, that would be in consideration of moving it for half day to Friday.
So that then, my 2 cents. So half-day Thursday, it used to be half-day Wednesday. Half-day Thursday has been around for 20 years. And so the reason that we went to it used to be every other week. The reason why we went to it is many years ago, when we cut full-time PE, art, and music at our elementary schools, it was to give teachers more prep time. And so we do have that hour and a half, and over the course of the month, there's one day that is a staff meeting. If that staff meeting doesn't happen, then the staff meeting happens after school on a Monday. So if you want to say there's to be no meetings, and I think maybe you should consider teacher feedback here.
Absolutely.
Then it means meetings
Yeah.
after school.
Yeah.
So
I heard the room.
that's the caveat, is all it does is move meetings. So just
Yeah.
for you to know, there's one meeting that's a staff meeting, one meeting that's like across the grade level to meet. There's meetings that is all of the grades across the entire district to meet, and then there's special education meetings. So that's just my consideration.
Yeah.
And then, of course, we really want parents to take their kids to school, and it's not because money, it's because every single hour and minute in the seat matters. And so and then the other consideration is subs. So again, these are just things to think about, is if more
Yeah.
people take off on Friday, because sometimes it's like, oh, I'm going to take off on a Friday, but now it's just a half day, there's a sub issue. And so those are the pros and cons.
I think there's going to be definitely like you said, kind of like this test trial kind of thing. And I know it is very hard for Thursday, especially for parents and work. That's definitely been a burden on a lot of people. And I think it's easier for them, especially on Fridays, to be able to get out of there a little bit easier compared to the middle of a work week.
So I feel like we could, oh, I'm sorry. I'd rather hear your opinion first.
Hi, I'm Sage Best. I just wanted to just mention something for a little bit and maybe see if you can consider.
Yeah.
Like Dr. Festa-Daigle had mentioned, we had surveyed parents and teachers about the calendar that we have already voted on. I was wondering, because this seems like something you guys are very interested in changing the calendar. How about instead of test driving or testing it now,
Yeah.
you guys want teacher and family input, and we're only
Absolutely.
talking to the people in the room.
Yeah.
How about we do the calendar of 2025 and 26 as it is now, that's been voted, and then this school year we can survey parents and families again using the alternatives you guys have brought up, and then we can talk about that for the next school year.
Yeah, yeah. Actually, that's something we were just discussing on sidebar.
And that's what, I'm glad Mrs. Best said that, because that would be my recommendation, is that we do approve 25 and 26 as it's presented, and then we have that work session. I would like to have it sooner rather than later.
Yeah,
But talk about
absolutely.
the 26, 27
Yeah.
calendar. Because I do think that those are good ideas, but I want to make my decision based on more than just opinions of the people in
Right.
this room. I want to
Yeah.
hear from other people, and I also want to
Absolutely.
hear the data. Opinions are great, but data also hold a place in my decision-making.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's.
I
a great
would
idea.
just add, from a logistical standpoint, we typically pass this in October and November, and then the Human Resource Department builds the workday calendars that also come before the board. So we are already 2 months behind on that, and that's required for us to determine compensation, contracts, all of the above. So,
Okay.
yes.
Yeah.
So that, I move to approve just 25, 26 calendar as is.
Fully as is.
As
And
is.
we can start on next year's tomorrow.
Is there a second?
I will second.
Yes.
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 Right. And then we need, and that was with 26, 27 being tabled. Okay.
Yeah, so now superintendent.
All right, now 7.1, superintendent.
So again, I'm here representing Becky, Dr. Stone. I know that she wishes she could be here tonight. I would just like to personally, I don't get an opportunity to do this much, so this is actually kind of nice for a change. Well, I would just really like to congratulate, first of all, wish everyone a Happy New Year. Hopefully 2025 starts off, or actually begins to move a little bit better for many people across the country, but Happy New Year and better things to come. On a happy note for our people here, I'd just like to congratulate our National Board teachers. Again, I deal with money, and so it's nice to be able to step outside of that from time to time and talk about something, again, that's much more important. I apologize for my remarks of ADA and talking about dollars, because in my world that's important, but I totally agree with Dr. Festa-Daigle that it's about kids, it's about quality instruction. That's who I am at my core. So congratulations to National Board teachers, newly certified National Board teachers, and those who have renewed their certification. So congratulations, teachers and our hardworking staff. So that would be my message, and I think Dr. Stone echoes that.
All right, 7.2, governing board members. Some exciting news, actually, for our middle school and high school students. Last year, there were some students working with Miss Bagby, had requested for the dress code to be changed. And we are excited to share this evening that effective Monday, students will be able to wear their own outerwear to school. For safety purposes, they will be asked to wear their student ID on a lanyard. And we are also going to be allowing seniors to wear their senior gear that has been purchased through any vendor through the high school. And this will take effect on Monday.
So that's like Letterman jackets and that
Correct.
type of thing? Okay,
Yes.
great.
Yeah.
Yep. And it-
We also, in our work session, we would like to discuss further changes and any issues when it comes to uniforms. So teachers, staff, parents, we want to hear from you for uniforms, both for students and staff. And so we want to hear your feedback as we go into work session. So, is there any other discussion for board members or agenda items that you would like to be added for further board meetings?
Yes, I'm asking for a review for the special ed department, please.
Okay. Awesome. Review for special ed. All right. And then, any other items? Something I would like to look at, discuss in our next board meeting is, or maybe, Lisa, you tell me if this is something that we need to do in a work session. When it comes to our students who play sports in our schools, to be able to find other ways to cover that cost other than charging our families. That is something that we have heard back from parents during our times talking to parents and getting feedback. Is that something we should do in a work session or an agenda item?
As long as it's publicly noticed, we can talk about, we have broad discretion to talk about what
Okay.
we'd like to talk about at a work
Okay.
session. We just have to, again, let the public know
Okay.
what is on our minds.
Okay, awesome.
And with that, Mr. Murray, if we could do, just look at the cost of, if we were to not charge that $400, what would the cost to the district be?
All right. Any other items? All right, this meeting is adjourned. Thank you.
Actually, we have to
Oh.
vote.
Sorry, I'm sorry. No, wait, we have to vote. Meeting re-adjourned.
I'll move to adjourn.
I'll try.
Okay. Matthew Houston has made a motion to adjourn, and I will second.
All right.
Okay, Sharon Harvey?
Yes.
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 All right, now the meeting's adjourned. Have a great night. So you should